Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Dearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day with me being too close to the tablet. I don't have a lot of room, though, so it's not like I have a great choice. Anyway, though, I hope your day is going well. It being a Monday, I have done my chores in the community center. We have gotten new people to come in and do things, so they're also doing cleanup with on top of our chores, so I don't know if I'm really redundant or not. I mean, there's very little that I can actually do, but right now my chores are to wipe off windowsills and keep light switches disinfected. It's not much, but I do it. You know, I got ouchies and pain, and my back is a mess, and you know, they've got as many of us on light duty as they can that can't do stuff, and they've gotten people in, and that's good, so thumbs up on that. Yay! The big thing I'm going to talk about, because I can't remember any of the other things that I wanted to talk about, I have to move stuff around on my monitor, and I got my mouse on my leg so I can read at this distance, move the mouse so I can see things. But two big things that I wanted to talk about. One is Torch in the Darkness, and the other is with the background on the game that I've been working on, you know, just for me, not really a game, just the setting and stuff like that. But the setting and difference with Torch in the Dark. Now, the idea behind Torch in the Darkness and the group company that makes them, they do a lot of semi-deep, they're not deep. This is only like 28 pages, but they do a lot of solo stuff like this. The story behind A Torch in the Dark is there were the evil, crushing overlords, the lords and barons and all that, but they were horrible, despotic people. The People's Revolution came and cast them down. Every one of the despotic nobles were thrown into pits and crypts and just slaughtered and thrown out. But those that were evil, they didn't want to let go. And because of just normal politics, the leader of the revolution, the People's Revolution, Brada, was hanged by the neck until dead. But before she died, or as she was dying, I have to go over there and click on this, and hopefully I've still got it available. She gave a speech, which is what I wanted to read for this. It was her, as they say, it was, "Herein follows the last words of Brada, now twice betrayed, reported in full by witnesses to her so-called trial and execution.
The dungeons beneath Kindberg have served as burial grounds for the noble lords of the realm since time immemorial. Whenever their syphilitic bodies finally succumbed, whenever their dark deals and devilry and diabolism finally came due, we put them to rest in their ornate crypts beneath the city. When the People's Revolution reached this city, we threw the nobles into this pit. We filled it with barons stripped of their furs, lords stripped of their jewels, and kings stripped of their heads. We packed their precious mausoleums to the brim and buried them with their lies. But we underestimated their desperation. With his final breath, the Emperor Titan Kind cursed Kindberg and all who lived therein. He called upon the power of demons and devils he had served during his terrible reign to curse the People's Revolution. The dead kings have arisen, our crops are blighted, and the Revolutionary Council has become corrupt. The last act of the revolution falls to you. It is up to you to twice kill the undead lords and reclaim their stolen wealth. It is up to you to delve into the darkness and end the last emperor's death curse. For the realm, for the people, for the revolution."
And that's why you are going down into these places, to take out the leaders who, having made deals with their demonic overlords, now are risen again. But the thing is, there are two versions of the game, 1.1 and 2.2. The mechanics of the game are the same. There's no big difference there. but oh my gosh, the tombs. They have been really streamlined for 2.2. Because in 1.1, each and every card in the dungeon does something. A 4 of hearts does something different from a 4 of clubs, which is different from a 4 of diamonds, which is different from a 4 of, I can't remember which ones I've been talking about. Each one of those does something different. So you have 52 individual and different things that can happen in each dungeon. In 2.2, the what is that? The suit doesn't matter. If you draw a 4, doesn't matter. It's just a 4. So you look on the 4 chart instead of going, oh, okay, diamonds and diamonds 4. So one has a lot more variety and the other doesn't. But I've got to do both of them now. I've gotten really close. I've made up a character before and stacked stuff into their inventory, which again is weird because you've got it's like a 3x6 block, and each of those squares you fill with something, like a torch takes 1 block on that. So you got to be able to juggle your inventory to fit it onto the grid, and as you use stuff it goes away, and you got to have light. So I want to do a 1.1 and a 2.2. Somebody did an expansion for it that you could download off DriveThruRPG, where you do the draw off the 1.1 tables, but you do the encounter off the 2.2 tables. I don't know how that works. I want to check it out, but we shall see, because I really want to do both 1.1 and 2.2 for the channel, because it is both a deep story with a moderately deep adventure, and yet it's simple. Draw cards, occasionally roll dice. And when you do roll the dice, you roll a number of dice, and you're trying to just break. A 6 is a success, a 3, 4, and 5, I believe it is a partial success, and a 1 and a 2 is a failure. So you want to roll as many dice as you can to increase the possibilities of your rolling a 6. Because you don't total them, you just need a 6. And the skills, it's kind of loosey-goosey that way, because you take a look at what skills you have and go, gosh, you know, here's the encounter, here's the skills I have. Would they really apply? Like, I'm going up against a skeleton, and I have the skill of brawling and the skill of acrobatics as examples. You could use brawling, certainly. Is there a way you could fit acrobatics into that? And if you can, that's another die. So, thumbs up on that. Yay! So it's simple, but the idea is deep. I want to check out some of their other things, but first, I'm going to be playing 1.1 and 2.2. It's going to be a mix of digital and not. I'm going to be having the PDFs that are shown up on the screen when is necessary, and then have the die rolls with my dice tower, so I need like a camera showing that, and then recording the screen, and then my voice, so it'll be good. Hopefully I'll be able to record me, which means I have to have my webcam going with Bandicam, and my tablet, and probably the PS4, all recording at the same time, so that I can get the thing done. And that'll be cool, because it's a pretty cool game. Thumbs up for that, definitely. The other thing, now that I've been talking about before, because I wanted to use the, I have to get my mouse here so I can move stuff. I want to use the Shell of Scarlet Heroes, and then use the monsters and stuff of other systems, like White Box and the like, and then dungeon delving from another system and such, to sort of Frankenstein the thing together. But just like I've done with the setting for my fictional setting, which hopefully I'm going to one day do something with, I've done a lot of behind the scenes stuff for my murder hobo to go running around in. Because I have thought, if you have elves and goblins in here, I'm shaking the table with my leg there, sorry about that. I figure long ago, there was a there were elves, and there was just like a land bridge on these two continents. The continent not nice over here, the continent pretty good over here. The elves were spreading out and starting to move over into the not so nice area. Massive volcanic eruption that brought big old mountain range up. A lot of the land bridge and such was down, and then so the two continents that, bang, I hit the table hard. The two continents separated. So divergent evolution between the elves on this continent and the elves on this continent. The elves on this continent at first ain't that great. So they start differentiating in their speciation. This is how I figure there are goblins in the world. The goblins are simply the ancestors of the elves and the goblins were common. They branched because of that. Over on the goblin side, the goblins, whom the elves speciated into, were more of the settle down and become farmers type. And so they became plains types, and they're the shorter gobbo type, 3 feet, 4 feet tall, right in that range. And they're peaceful. They're farmer types. But just like everybody, there's differentiation. Hobgoblins are like the humans of the goblin world. There's nothing really special about them. They're just generalists. They're roughly the same size as human beings, and they're effectively the human beings of the goblin world. Orcs, by this time, the way that they have speciated, they have been more in the woods, survival oriented. And by this time, it has become a culture for them. The culture of them is to stick to their wood-born, more, not primitive, but sticking to your roots. So while the hobgoblins are starting to make their cities, and the goblins have their farmlands and settlements, the orcs are sticking very proudly to their more survivalist and, again, not primitive, because they are not primitive and are not stupid. They are just clinging to their culture, and it is a very strong culture that way. The cave trolls, well, they receded under the ground, and intelligence isn't really a thing that factors into survival, and so they lost intelligence while gaining the canniness and instinct and other abilities of cave trolls. Which speciation of trolls, of course, different types. Just as you have different types of orcs, different types of hobgoblins, different types of goblins, none of them are monolithic species and cultures. But for this purpose, they might as well be that way. But they're on this continent, and I figure on the other, where they had the elves that they speciated on their own with urban elves, and the more in the woods elves, and of course underground subterranean elves. They've speciated. Coming upward from down south are the humans. There is not war. Everybody has been moderately peaceful in their expansions because everybody's sort of expanding into areas that the others don't really want, and there's trade going on. And then now they're also starting colonies on that other continent, which is where I figure my character would be, with that on that island, with that mountain range where it rains and snows out, so that there's more plainlands down here, and then the bubbling fresh water coming up where it's right where the ocean is. I'll put the map up as soon as I can, but yeah, I think I've got a pretty good setting all made up here, and I'm still working on it, but just to check over there to make sure I've gotten all that. Yeah. So thumbs up on that. I think I'm doing pretty good, and hopefully, as stated, I'll be able to start doing videos for that starting the beginning of the month. Now, of course, on the YouTube thing, I've got to talk about YouTube, where it's so many other channels that are established and strong. They are not able to maneuver fast enough to keep up with changing YouTube. And rather than even try to do that, they are shutting down. A lot of channels are doing that, where it's just, they can't pivot on a dime like you need to with YouTube. And so many other channels are talking about how I did a video that I really enjoyed, but it didn't do well immediately. And because it doesn't do well immediately, if no one clicks on it when it's presented, it starts getting presented less. And because it's presented less, not even your subscribers know that you have released a video. And it can tank your channel. And people have had their channels take massive hits that have taken weeks to months to recover from, because they did a video that they wanted to do instead of a video that the algorithm told them to do. So a lot of them are just saying, I can't do what I want, bye-bye YouTube. So that's great. I mean, I know my stuff is like suppressed all to hell, because just like anyone else, I can't pivot. I can't pivot fast enough. I've got stuff that I want to do, but it's stuff that I enjoy, because I can't keep up with the algorithm. I mean, even people that make this a living can't keep up with it. So thumbs up. All I can do is all I can do. I'm going to continue making shorts. I've got a whole bunch of videos. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this one. Yesterday, did not have a massive panic attack, but I had massive anxiety. I've got videos, part of it on the trail that I was walking. At the end of it, there were, where I would normally leave to get to the to the library, there were a bunch of fire engines and ambulances and cops. Already I'm anxious, because I don't like groups of people. And there's some people who had set up a tent on the end of the bridge that you have to cross to get over the stream, so you got to walk through their camp to get to the trail. And I made the decision to do that. I walked through the camp, which, you know, they're cool about. They knew what they had done, so it's like, you got to go through. But getting through up there, some homeless person the night before had set up right there at the entrance to the trail. I don't know what happened. It's not my story. I don't want to be the main character of this. Something not very good was going on, because they had ambulances and the ambulances weren't leaving. They had the cop talking to people, and there were others that looked like very, very distraught. I don't know what happened. I don't really want to know. I care in that I don't want anyone to get hurt or die, but oh boy. Now, if you're a normal human being and you've got something going on like anxiety or pain, you are going to occasionally ask yourself, am I faking this? I've read about people in professional stuff where they talk about this, where it's you ask yourself, and I went through this back when I was on opiate pain medications, where I would not be hurting for a day and go, gosh, am I really hurting? Do I really need this stuff? Well, of course I wasn't hurting. The medication was working. So you're always going to question yourself. I was walking on that path and I was coming up to the thing. I had been wondering, do I really have anxiety? Because I'm a human being. Do I really have this sort of thing? But as I have read and other people have said, and it does make sense, if you are wondering whether or not you're faking something, the sheer fact that you are wondering about it pretty much means you aren't. Because those people that are faking it, they aren't wondering about it. They're just busy faking it and going on with their lives. They're not wondering about it. If you're wondering whether or not you're faking it, that pretty much means you're not. Because if you are faking it, you're just faking it. You're not worrying about it. You're just faking it and going on with your life and reaping whatever benefits you would get from faking things. I mean, I don't understand that sort of thing. There's Munchausen syndrome, where you complain about things that aren't really happening so you can be involved in the healthcare system. There's Munchausen syndrome by proxy, where you make other people sick so that you can be the main character in the story when the whole healthcare system's involved. There's a whole bunch of stuff, but if you're wondering, yeah, you pretty much don't need to. I had been wondering about anxiety. With all those cops, all those vehicles, all those people, high tension situation, not involved with it, just there. Those cars were loud. The water and all this was right where there is the water pools up from the stream, goes through a whole bunch of baffles, so it roars underneath there and then comes out the other side. As I was passing by those ambulances, the whole world was just graying out into absolute tunnel vision. And the roar of those engines and that water, it was so loud it drowned out everything in the world. It was horrible, and it felt like it was never going to end. But, again, I was not involved, and once I was past it, I had a whole bunch of adrenaline to work out, and so when I was finally done, because I went walking, and to work that all out, I was shaky exhausted. You know, that kind of shaky you get after you've used up a lot of energy because you're anxious or such. It wasn't good, but it was better. So I came home and did what I had to do, but oh boy. Again, don't want to be the main character of the story because something bad happened to somebody, and I feel bad for them for that, because I don't want even bad things to happen to my worst enemies. So, still though, life is life. And I've got videos of when I went on the trail. Part of them was one of the shorts where it was a squirrel moment with actual squirrels. I mean, I was walking and the squirrel was up on the log and just making noise. So I brought out my tablet and started recording it. And yeah, and there were jerks that were tearing stuff up. And I tried to do my best to record just stuff because I was out there for me. And so much of it turned out to be not a good idea. You'll see from the video. I mean, it's not bad, it's just there were jerks that did bad things to the trail, and then there was all that thing that happened at the end. So, you know, thumbs up. I'm going to try and get some printing done for some things here. I haven't done it yet. I got to make that email account. I got to send stuff to it. I got to go over there and see how it's like to print. And then, hey, the only thing I really worry about is like a toner. What if the toner runs out like after hours? And then, you know, but at least I don't have to do it, like pay for it as I go. Yay. So anyway, though, that's what I'm going to be doing here today. It is raining on and off outside, so I'm going to go out walkies at some point with my umbrella. My shoes will likely get soaked because, hey, it's windy around here. Life is life. And then later on, hopefully record Torch in the Dark, or hopefully some more Fallout New Vegas, because I don't know how far I am in Dead Money, but I've been doing as best I can, and it's actually going along. And if you've seen, oh my god, I am 5'4", 110 pounds soaking wet, and this just one punch from this character and your head will explode. So, thumbs up. Anyway though, if you are a Patreon patron, thumbs up and thank you. It is appreciated to no end. I am just a hurtin' monkey now, whereas before I was a Christmas monkey being hosed on the regular. With your help, you keep me just a hurtin' monkey instead of a badly hurtin' monkey, and that is appreciated to no end. Thumbs up and thank you. God, I'm just drooling and spitting around on this side. Yay. And if you have left me a comment, thumbs up, thank you. I answer as many as I can. I've been doing as best I can. I wake up, this side really hurts now all the way through this here. This side, of course, being what it is, I got to be careful with back here. I'm going to lose the entire arm again. doing what I can, so hopefully you can do what you can. But of course, if you can't, don't beat yourself up. It doesn't help you do better next time. It only beats you up, makes you feel bad, and it doesn't help. So try not to do that. And of course, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. So thumbs up. Yeah, I'm just gonna. They had an update on the UI for Samsung stuff, and I really don't like a lot of it. But you know, I can't go back to what it was. Yay! Take care, and I'll talk to y'all later. What the hell button is it? They changed the UI just enough. Ugh.